From canceled to CEO, Kris Jenner's comeback playbook. What do you do when your family is branded a joke, your reputation tanked by reality TV, and your critics declare your 15 minutes of fame are up? If you're Kris Jenner, you lean in, grab the narrative by the throat, and flip it into $1 billion empire. Love her or loathe her, one thing's undeniable. Kris Jenner went from Hollywood punchline to one of the most powerful businesswomen in entertainment. And she did it all without ever starring in a blockbuster, dropping an album, or launching a tech startup. This is the playbook of a woman who turned scandal into strategy, chaos into cash, and failure into fuel. Today, we're unpacking the power moves behind one of pop culture's greatest reinventions, Kris Jenner's comeback from cultural discard to CEO status. Owning the narrative, when keeping up with the Kardashians' first hit screens in 2007, the world wasn't exactly applauding. Critics labeled it vapid, exploitative, and an embarrassing train wreck. And let's not forget, Kris was at the center of it, accused of profiting off her daughter's sex tape scandal and fame chasing at all costs. But here's where she made her first genius move. She didn't deny the noise. She used it. Kris understood the media better than the media understood itself. She turned every headline, meme, and rumor into attention, and then turned that attention into ratings. The lesson? Control your story, even if others are trying to write you out of it. She taught us all that perception isn't reality unless you let it be. And in Hollywood, controversy isn't the enemy, it's currency. Rebranding mom as momager. Traditionally, the role of a mother in the public eye is to stay in the background, not Kris. She transformed motherhood into a full-blown executive role, coining the now accent term momager. While it might have started as a joke, Kris made it real, managing not just one but 6 individual brands. Think about that. 6 high-management, high-profits careers to balance, all while building her own. She mastered contracts, licensing deals, social strategy, and public relations with ruthless precision. Critics called her controlling. She called it leadership. And in a world where women are still underestimated in boardrooms, Kris didn't wait for a seat at the table. She built the damn table herself, turning scandals into sales. Most celebrities panic when controversy hits. Kris, she launches a product. Every PR crisis, whether it was Kim's 72-day marriage, Kendall's controversial Pepsi ad, or Tristan Thompson's serial cheating, was treated not as a disaster, but as an opportunity. The key was timing and control. Instead of letting the press dictate the conversation, Kris would reframe the narrative, sometimes subtly, sometimes brazenly, through interviews, spin-offs, or brand pivots. She understood something crucial. People don't actually mind drama, they just want to see how you handle it. And the Kardashian brand became synonymous with transparency, even if that transparency was curated. It blurred the line between vulnerability and marketing, and Kris wielded that blur like a weapon, building an empire on influence. Kris wasn't just selling drama, she was building infrastructure. Under her management, the Kardashian-Jenner brand expanded into fashion lines, makeup empires, mobile apps, and fragrance deals. But her biggest strength? She saw social media's power before the rest of Hollywood did. While other celebrities still clung to glossy magazine covers, Kris was already strategizing Instagram drops and Snapchat campaigns. She saw influence as currency and invested early. When Kylie Jenner was crowned the youngest self-made billionaire, it wasn't a fluke. It was a result of Kris's long-term game. She wasn't chasing relevance, she was cultivating legacy, mastering the long game. While the internet obsesses over virality, Kris plays for longevity. The Kardashians may have peaked in tabloid popularity years ago, but their financial empire has only grown, and Kris has never stopped evolving. She partnered with Hulu to reboot the family show with more creative control, while expanding her personal brand into luxury collaborations and potential beauty ventures of her own. Unlike many reality stars who faded into obscurity, Kris stayed 2 steps ahead. Her comeback wasn't flashy, it was relentless. Built on strategy, relationships, and an uncanny ability to predict what the audience wants before they know they want it. The power of pivoting. Perhaps the most impressive part of Kris Jenner's playbook is her fearlessness in starting over. When Caitlyn Jenner transitioned and Bruce, the man she was married to for over 2 decades, was suddenly no longer part of the narrative, she didn't implode. She adapted. When public sentiment shifted and people began craving authenticity over glamour, she recalibrated the family image. She brought in more rawness, more behind-the-scenes truth, more unfiltered emotion. This wasn't just about keeping up with the times, it was about evolving with purpose. Kris understands that success isn't linear. It's a dance between reinvention and relevance. And she's been doing the cha-cha and Louboutins for 2 decades, leveraging relationships as capital. Kris Jenner doesn't just manage family, she brokers relationships like a seasoned deal-maker. Whether it's a strategic friendship with media titans like Ryan Seacrest or calculated appearances alongside fashion powerhouses like Anna Wintour, Kris knows that proximity is power. She's not just networking, she's curating alignment. When you see Kris seated front row at Paris Fashion Week or photographed at elite charity galas, that's not coincidence, it's chess. She understands that in modern celebrity culture, clout is contagious and affiliation is influence. By aligning her daughters with rising stars, high-end designers, and headline-grabbing relationships, she turns moments into movements. Building brands, not just fame. While most reality stars chase headlines, Kris chased shelf space. Early on, she realized that fame without foundation fades. That's why she encouraged her daughters to become product creators, not just influencers. She didn't just sign endorsement deals, she brokered ownership. From KKW Beauty to Kylie Cosmetics, Good American to Skims, Kris helped build an ecosystem of companies that don't just sell products, they define aesthetics, trends, and lifestyle identities. And here's the genius. Each brand fills a niche within their family empire. There's no competition, just coordinated dominance. It's not just about building buzz, it's about building equity. She turned fleeting fame into permanent placement in the marketplace. And that's CEO energy. Turning privacy into premium content. Most celebrities guard their privacy like gold. Kris Jenner, she packaged it and sold it to networks. But make no mistake, what you see is only what she wants you to see. Kris doesn't overshare. She curates transparency. Emotional breakdowns, family therapy, cheating scandals, all of it serves a function, keeping the audience emotionally invested while protecting the core business. She walked the line between reality and storytelling better than most scripted TV producers. And with the Kardashians' transition from E! to Hulu, Kris took things a step further by demanding more creative control, editorial input, and profit participation. It's no longer just a reality show, it's a serialized brand campaign, and every season drives sales. Media manipulation as a skill set. There's a reason Kris is often compared to classic media moguls. She knows exactly how to steer the public's attention. When public sentiment shifts, Kris shifts the storyline. If a scandal brews, she drops a feel-good story. When the narrative around wealth and excess becomes tone-deaf, she pivots to philanthropy or motherhood moments. It's like crisis PR in motion, only it's done before the crisis even explodes. She's not reacting, she's anticipating. From magazine exclusives to controlled leaks, Kris doesn't play the media, she partners with it. She understands the speed of the news cycle and feeds it strategically. She knows that silence is suspicious, and saturation is power. If you found this video insightful or inspiring, do us a favor, hit that like button to help others find it too. Subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the minds and moves behind today's most iconic reinventions. And hey, drop a comment below. What do you think is Kris Jenner's smartest move? Or who should we break down next? Thanks for watching, and remember, in the words of Kris herself, if somebody says no, you're talking to the wrong person.